Hi everyone, a very warm good evening. Thank you so much for joining us today for Python Logic webinar with Dr. Amar Panchal. I hope I am audible. Please give a thumbs up if you all can hear me. Great. So, so folks, I think before we get started, uh, could you help me understand how many of you have written a line of code in Python, right? So say yes if you've done some bit of coding, no if you're a total beginner. Great. So Isha says yes. Gino also says yes. I see some thumbs up as well. Rudraksh says yes. Navya, yes. Great. Great. So, folks, this is a great opportunity for us today where we'll follow a model. We'll learn by doing rather than just knowing what to write. We'll know why code works and why it works in certain way and not in another way, right? So we have Dr. Amar Panchal with us. I'll quickly introduce him in a bit, but I hope you are as excited as I am for this webinar. Before we get started, I'd like to introduce you to Yuno Learning. I am one of the co-founders at Yuno Learning, and it's a privilege for us to have you here. Yuno Learning has trained over 25,000 students so far, right? And we've gotten over 1,300 plus raving reviews on Google, all 5 star, right? Now, it's a bit about, the achievement that we've had so far, but what do we do? We are a platform for live online instructor-led classes, and we are also introducing offline classes very shortly, right? We ensure that all our learners get the best quality of classes from top-rated instructors like Dr. Amar Panchal, and all our courses and the academies on the platform, follow our strict cancellation and refund policy. And you'll always have someone to talk to in the time of need. That's a bit about but I'll not keep you further away from this engaging topic today. We talk every day about AI, how it is impacting the world. All our applications today are influenced by AI, and one language, one course that can help you get closer to your dream job is this particular course, right? It's a starting step to a world to unlock your career in AI. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Amar Panchal. He's one of the renowned coaches in India, rated in the top 100 coaches all across India. He's a TEDx speaker. He's trained over 23,000 students and has over 30,000 plus hours of mentorship experience under his belt, right? So you're in great hands, and this is going to be a gem of a webinar. I'm very excited. I hope you are too. If you're excited, can you type a yes in the chat box and give me a thumbs up, please? Amazing. Arun, Isha, Ashutosh, Rudraksh, Uday, Akshay, great. I'm sure you're all excited to unlock what is to come ahead. Uh, Amar, I'll hand it over to you. You see, there's a lot of energy in the room, and I think everyone is excited. Everyone is waiting to hear from you, and I'll just stop here and hand it over to you. Thank you so much, Amar. Over to you.
Sure, sure. Thank you, Varun. Okay, good evening, guys. This is Amapanchar. I'll just pin my screen so that you guys can start working with it. Okay, for people who cannot see me clearly, you pin my screen so that you will be able to see me clearly. Now, love to see good crowd, good number of people. I was just going through when Varun sir was talking to you guys that there are a few new coders, few are already coders. Good to see. Sure. Let's try to go on straight. What are we talking about? The first thing which we are talking about is the way we have written Python. We said it's a language, it's a technology, it's a career. What exactly are we going to talk about? How the webinar is going to be? We'll understand what exactly it's needed for going for a coding. What are the steps one should follow? where Python exactly stands, because there is a hell of a confusion going around in students. Somebody talks about Golang, somebody talks about agentic agents, somebody talks about AI, somebody even says, why are we even learning language? Because now prompts can do everything. So I'll try to navigate you through all this and make you very clear why we should first understand a language and then use it in a proper manner. So we'll be going in a very simple manner. I'll introduce you to language, core concepts, then talking about how we can actually build stuff. We will do some live coding to it, and that too without installing anything. In fact, if you want, you can parallelly do with me. If you are sitting on a laptop, that would be a great option for you. Then we'll be talking about the entire roadmap which you should be following, and then towards the end, I'll give you some free tips, concepts, and books you can go through and understand how things are worked. Okay. So tell me how many people are excited. Give me a yes. Give me a round of yes if people are listening. Come on, come on, come on, people. Give me a round of yes in chats. Come on. Okay, thumbs up coming in. Arun, Roshni, love to see. Rohini, Mohanlal. Wow, 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 wow. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, people. So let's basic. Let's talk about the basic concepts. So when you say programming, I'll tell you the funniest thing. Programming. When somebody says, "Amar, programming," I want to learn programming. This is exactly how they want to learn. Means they feel it's like a burger. आराम से लो, डाल दो, पेट में गया, मैं programming से गया. I'm done eating a programming and I'm ready. It's not going to happen. Somebody says, I have a magic stick which is going to teach you programming. In 30 minutes, it's magic. They're making a fool out of you. Oh, Munna bhai MBBS hoga. Let's not do that. So when I say you want to learn programming, one obvious thing is what mistakes each of us does when we start, even I did when I initially started, is the concept of understanding syntax and having a feel that I know programming. Now, what I mean by this? Well, Satul, what do you know about programming? I know syntax, I know how to, like few of you who have said, yes, I have done one line of code or more than one line of code. I'm very sure you guys have done one thing for sure, that is understanding basics. You know how to write if, you know how to write for, you know how to write. But the question remains is it programming? Answer is no. Programming is about making stuff. And that's the reason I always tell people knowing a language and using a language is different. Like we all know English, but when it comes to speaking, how many of us are good at it? No, even sometimes it happens when I train students. So I say, introduce yourself, and there is a fun with that. I am so and so. I am so and so. The most interesting thing yesterday we had a session. I was grooming people about how to introduce the it started with one of the guys saying that, sir, I'm so and so, I'm from so and so. And the fun part was, I have a mother, I have a sister, I have a father. Mola Aila ditto. Same here. And then we all were laughing. But that's exactly how things work. Most of us, when it comes to programming, talks about one simple thing. The concept is we understand how to write code, but we don't understand how to work with the logic. And that's exactly what I'm here to help you off. So if I'm fine, accepted, then what you should learn? Now, before going anything else, we should be learning is three basic stuff to understand the program, the programming, and the programming language. Now, what I mean by this, or how exactly things are going to be worked, it's very simple. Now, let's try to understand. Anybody could tell me what is program according to you? Anybody would like to try, speak or something, or type in something? What do you mean by program? Anybody? Come on, come on, come on. Some logic, perfect. Set of instructions, wonderful, wonderful. Perfect, wonderfully done. Okay, execution of a task. Okay, whoa, process that system can understand. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's a good one. Okay, so let us try to understand one simple factor as we work, as we operate. So whenever we talk about, Varun sir, somebody's speaker is on. If you can just see and
Ruxa, if you can mute, please.
Okay. So perfect, wonderful answers. Now let's try to understand how things are going to be worked. So whenever we talk about program, this is the exact question you get on your birthday, if you remember. If agar aaj kisi ka birthday hoga, anybody's birthday, happy birthday. But then the kind of question which we get, or no, generally this is what happens. Hi, Amar, happy birthday. Okay, thank you. Baki, tell me what's your program for the day? You give us a sequence. Well, morning I'll go with parents, temple. Now, then I'll be meeting him or her, depending on whoever you have in life. and then evening I'm meeting friends and party. You gave us a sequence of instruction. That exactly is a program. In a simple possible word, what you mean by a program? Set of instructions given to computer in order to understand and do certain tasks. Very rightly said by most of you. That is program. So set of instructions given. Fine. That is how we start. That is how we work with part one, part two. Then what is Amar? If that is program, what is programming? This is my favorite line to give. Programming is the art of making what you want computer to do. I repeat myself. What is programming? Art of making computer do what you want it to do. Sir means simple. You want your work to be done, but who is going to do it? Computer. So I'll give series of instruction as per my requirement so that computer can follow. Now that comes two questions. Everybody needs to help me on this. Everybody needs to help me on this. Now think and tell me. Think and tell me. One statement is right, one statement is wrong. Think and tell me. Number one, computer is faster than human. Yes or no? People comment, computer is faster than human. Yes or no? Perfect. That is yes, 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 yes. There's a hands up coming in. Wonderful. Superb. Logically, yes. Good. Second question. Computer is smarter than human. Yes or no? Computer is smarter than human. Yes or no? Okay. So we understood one basic concept is we are smarter, but computer is faster, and that is where programming comes into. We want computer to do what we want it to do because we are the smarter ones. We program computers to do what we do. But computer does it 10 times, 1,000 times, lakh times faster than human, and that is where programming comes. Programming is done by human to the computer so that it behaves properly as per my wish. Yaad rakhna. The third part, programming language. Now, if I have to be very clear, I am somebody with reference to my mother tongue. I am Gujarati, so I speak Gujarati as a language. Here, I am speaking in English. Some part would be Hindi, maybe for humor or something. But major language I am speaking is English. My mother tongue is Gujarati. Sir, what's the point? The point is, what if I teach you in Gujarati only? So, agar yahan pe anybody Gujarati in the house, anybody say yes if Gujaratis are there? Anybody? अच्छा कोई भी नहीं है सब गुजराती धंधा ही कर रहे हैं ठीक है no issues so now if you realize one important thing why I'm not speaking okay कोई एक है very good so now when I tend to talk about why I'm not speaking in Gujarati you will not understand Amar so that's the point if I speak in Gujarati probably you will write in a reply अरे वाह और एक है very good wonderful hi Shivam hi Radhika so now when you see if I speak in Gujarati what would happen I'm very sure you will write enough feedback. Oh, Dokla Phapda was saying something we never understood. Exact. So we need to speak to computer in a computer's language, and that is programming language. Remember this. So three things very clear. Set of instruction, program. The way I want to give this programming, the language which I'll use to tell it to computer, programming language. Why it is needed. Okay. For that, let me just take you to my design board. You will have a clear-cut idea why we have to do this. So when it comes to us, you'll be able to see my white screen. Don't worry. So whenever we are talking about this, let's try to understand how things work. So here we have two things to work with. We have two objects to work with. One is us as a human. We understand English-like words. Similarly, when it comes to computer, anybody knows which language computer understands? Anybody? Come on. Wild guess. Anybody knows. Okay. Wow. So binary or machine language. Good to see. So binary or machine language made of 1010s and so on. Now there is an issue. Human cannot understand zeros and ones, or at least we are not comfortable, and machine cannot understand English. Arey yaar, ye to gadbad hai. Now what I would do? Answer to that is a programming language. It's a bridge between two people where human would say something understood by the computer and computer giving some answer would be understood by the user. Remember this, programming is a bridge between two people who are trying to use best of their ability. Human as an intelligence and computer as its speed. So that's the reason programming language is needed. So today, what programming language we are using, what programming language we are going through is the third generation. I'm talking about Python more precise. Amar, एक minute. If you are talking about Python and if it is a third generation programming language, one question I have, which or how many generation? Now, obviously, common sense to has a third generation. If you are talking about, that means there has to be first, second, third generation tak to hai, that there has to be three generation. In fact, if you talk about programming, my dear, there are 5 generations of programming. Be very, very careful for this. Now, what are these 5 generations? Okay, let me help you out very quickly to this. So when you talk about programming, the first language initially was machine language, made of 0 and 1. Initially, I'm talking about 80s, where computer were just starting in. There was no concept of PC, personal computer, nahin. There was only concept of computer, giant machine. If sometime if you come back to Mumbai, uh, uh, there is a place called Nehru Planetarium. The first ever built PC by Tata is still there. It's around 1.5 floor machine, huge machine made with vacuum tubes, and it is capable of doing plus and minus. That's it. It doesn't do anything beyond that. Now imagine we started from that as a term of a single machine doing plus minus. And today you think about our mobiles. This what I'm using is Ultra Samsung. Now this baby can do a lot of stuff, but it is just in my palm. That's it. And that is computer. And that's the generations of computer which you are talking about. So Amar, this is old, but computers still only understand machine language. It doesn't understand anything other than the machine language. Okay, so Amar, what was the problem? The moment you change machine, this language is going to change. We are not comfortable. Amar, we want better. We got better. So we got with assembly language. We made one simple thing. Okay, now Amar, that is an idea. We would be doing is, I'll be giving you some instructions. We will translate to number and that will load. Okay, so we used to practically have a translation table. What you want to do, add a comma b, go through the number. Amar, it is number 7e. हम लोग हाउसी खेलते हैं ना, 4747, similar to that. We had to use numbers to program machine. Again, people were not happy. ऐसे थोड़ी चलता है, you cannot remember numbers. So then we finally had something which we are in love with till now, the third generation of programming language called as high-level programming. Now, when you talk about high-level programming, let's understand high-level programming exactly and what exactly we work with. So high-level programming language talks about one simple thing, works in a very simple manner. You speak in English, I will translate it and give it to machine. Machine will run the machine level code, get me the answer, and get you in English. Now, to understand this in a better way, to understand this in a more logical way, I'll show you again. I'll go back to my design desk again. There are certain things now I still love using the board because that gives you the best clarity, I feel. So, as you guys can see, okay, now you can see. So now how it works, it's like very simple. Human will write something called as the source code. Amar, the source code is in terms of Python.py file. So that will go to a concept called compiler. Amar, in a simplest possible word, what is compiler? To us, I'll put translator. Okay. Now, before I could go ahead, one simple and a silly question. How many of you have seen Korean drama? Squid Game ho gaya, Alias and Borderland, etc. How many of, give me yes, how many of you have seen any Korean series? Any Korean series, any platform? Give me yes. I love them. They are different, alag hai. In fact, mera chhod do, I to even love South Indian movies. You have to keep your brain out and just enjoy. Recently, my people were scolding me. I went for a movie called Akhanda 2. I enjoyed. The entire group was giving me galis, but I somehow enjoyed. That was brainless action comedy. I don't know what to call it, but it was fun. So now when you talk about that, you relate. So Amar, do you understand South Indian language? No, I can understand English, Hindi, Marathi, and Gujarati. 1 minute. Then how you saw South Indian movie? That's the exact way you saw Bahubali, you saw Pushpa, you saw a lot of other movies to go across. The translation. Why am I talking suddenly? Why are you working with this? Why? So now when you tend to work with, let's try to understand why I had to bring this topic. Okay. See, my concepts are very simple. Take it practically, you will not forget it. So now what we are talking about. So compiler is exactly the translator because of which you saw Bahubali and Pushpa in Hindi. Watch what though, if you really want to have fun, other day I entered my house, my parents are watching some South Indian movie. That too, Allu Arjun is speaking in Gujarati. And I was like, what is happening? They're like, Arey nahi, this is gold cinema Gujarati. Now the translated movies, South Indian movies are getting translated in Gujarati. I don't know why, but let it be chhod do. So the concept is that's exactly compiler. So compiler will take Python file, translate it, and give it to machine. Machine will execute it line by line, and now the fun starts. The answer or the outcome of it is given back. Now outcome is given back to whom? Obviously to source code. Nana, I have to give it to straight away to user, and this happens through monitor. So you will see certain input output happening in the process, and this is how the system works. So compiler is going to be very important. So when you talk about Python, a lot of people have misconcept that Python is interpreted, not compiled. It is compiled plus interpreted. 1 minute, sir. What is the difference between a compiler and an interpreter, by the way? Okay. When you talk about compiler, compiler converts the entire source code in one shot and give it to machine. Whereas the second term when I said interpreter, translate line by line. So it will take one line, translate it, give it to machine, another line, translate it, giving it to machine. Both has that advantage and disadvantage. When we go in depth of the course, we talk about all this. But as if now, let's understand that we can do wonders. And all the things the third generation does for us is because of one simple thing, is thanks to the translator, the compiler. That's the third generation. So today, I have an advantage that whatever I write in my machine would surely run in your machine. Maybe my machine is Intel i7 256 SSD and maybe 16 GB RAM. Sir, I have a better machine. I have Mac. Khao, khush raho. I mean Apple khao. So now when you talk about Apple, that machine and this machine is different. Then how my code is working? Thanks to the compiler. So Amar, this is the third generation, super. But do we have anything other than that? Yep, we have 4 and 5 generation also. So when you talk about fourth generation, we talk about the concept of SQL, structured query language for databases, and the fifth generation, जिसके आप दीवाने हो. I mean, something which you are in love with, AI, NLP, natural language processing, and artificial intelligence. That is the fifth generation. So next time somebody asks you Java, Python, C, C++ is which generation? Remember, it's the third generation. Do not forget. So now we'll talk about high-level language. As I said, high-level language works in a very simple manner. There is an interpreter or a compiler which translate and give it to machine. Machine will execute, will give answer back to the interpreter or compiler, and that takes back answer. It works in a very simple manner and very effective manner. This is how we work. Everybody clear till then? Everybody clear? People, till now, everything clear? Give me a round of yes. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, so that I understand you guys are with me. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Shallow. Good. So now let's try to push to the next level. Amar, fine, you understood. What's next? What's next is how we develop the program. So when you say programming, should we start straight about programming? No. There are things which we have to do before we code. So that's called as the flow or coding flow. First, generally, as per the book, we follow algorithm, then flowchart, and then the code. To be very precise, follow the algorithm and the code. Amar, what is it? Okay, let's make it simple. You want to talk to somebody whom you are, let's say, थोड़ा हम लोग adult है तो थोड़ा बात करते हैं. Somebody you are interested in, maybe your crush, maybe you just want to know him or her. Would you directly go and start speaking? Hey, hi, how are you? Impression पहली बार में चला जाएगा. So now how would we do this? Now let's understand. We will first plan. I'll talk this, then I'll talk that, then I'll say this. In fact, I remember when we were in college, I at the time write शायरी and all. मुझे शौक है. So I remember my friends used to come. ए का शायरी लिख के देना. मतलब तुम लोग को मैं ATM लिखता है. Do you think I'm an ATM that you will make a request and I'll come with शायरी? But they used to do, and they used to ratify shairis officially. Why? Impress her. Of logic simple. Similarly, the concept is I'll have to make my mind right. First this, then this, then this. This concept is called algorithm. What is it? Sequence of steps given so that you can plan your code properly. So we never start coding directly. We first think about the sequence, what all needed, and then we start coding. So that's algorithm. Flowchart I generally skip. I say don't flowchart. I don't work with, but most of the time we go with the algorithm, and after the algorithm, we straight away jump to the coding. याद रखना ये बहुत काम आएगा. This will actually work with. Okay. So again, repeat myself. We start not directly with the code. We first plan. There has to be an algorithm. This algorithm works in a very simple manner of code. So you think, how do you code? And then you start coding. Remember this. And when you say you have to think about how to work or how to code, we often say that do it on a paper. I generally tell students, sit with a paper, plan your code, and then start coding. This is the first and the easiest way to learn coding. Okay, all good. So now, Amar, fine, we understood. Or kuch? Okay. Even while thinking, the most common mistake people do, what input, what process, what output. Life doesn't work that way, my friend. Life doesn't work that way. Sir, matlab, simple hai. So if we talk about, we work in a very simple manner. First, think about what output you will need. Why? See, whatever you do, even today, hats off to 100 people who are here roughly, वो plus minus हो रहा है, public आगे पीछे हो रहा है, but those 100 plus people who are here today had a certain goal in mind. They were very clear, नहीं, सीखना तो है, let's try to understand. So they were not here for input or the process. They were very clear about the output. ये करना है, Amar, I want to do this. Superb. So when this is done, what is the next thing you will be talking about? How? So I wanted to, for example, you might have saw the ad, Python programming, learn. So now you will be going and saying, okay, I want to learn. So you were very clear about the output. Then you go down. So what I would do, when is it? It is on 31st, 7 o'clock. Hey, यार मैं 7 से 8 तक नहीं आएगा, मेरे को वो एक webinar है, मैं attend करने वाला हूँ. Superb. So what you did was a process. For that, what was the input? You are right now sitting, listening to us. I'm trying to help you off and you're trying to grasp what is happening because ये college में नहीं होने वाला, ये classes में नहीं होने वाला. This is the next generation, classrooms, online and everything. Now you imagine there are people practically, we have gone through demographics. So people from Karnataka, people from Kolhapur, people from Satara, people from Goa, people from lot of, मैं पूरा list करने बैठूं तो आधा India तो cover हो ही जाएगा आप लोग का. So the concept remains pretty simple. You all gave input. Any program, first think about what output is needed, then process, and then input. Remember this. So this all are worked with reference to algorithms and the process. So now let's go to more important stuff. Now dhire dhire I'm going towards the coding and then soon we'll start the coding part. Okay. So when somebody says, Amar, what program is made up of, or in order to develop program, what all things would be needed? There are a lot of answers, but basically we need three things. So what are these three things which we need? As you can see, there are three things. The sequence, the selection, and something which we call about loop. Amar, what is sequence? Which steps followed by what? पहले ये करना, फिर ये करना, फिर ये करना. अगर वो sequence ही गलत रहा, if your sequence is wrong, you're screwed. For example, we all know, how many of you know how to make Maggie? I know that. How many of you know how to make Maggie? Come on guys, give me thumbs up or yes. How many knows this? Okay, there are plenty. In fact, हम लोग उस पे ही तो जिंदा है नहीं. रात को भूख लगता है 1-2 बजे मैगी ही सारा होता है यार. आज भी ये हाल है मेरे घर पे तो. Yeah, it's easy. Okay, so when you talk about, let's try to understand how it is. Simple. Take a vessel, पानी डालो, गरम करो, पैक काटो, put the Maggi, stir it, cut the masala, put it, and make it done. Knowingly or unknowingly, what I gave you was step 1, the sequence. Now there is a selection of it. What is selection, Amar? Branch, yes or no? Hua kya? Bana kya? Don't you think you'll be keep on looking at? Okay, done? No, not done. Kacha. Abhi bhi not properly cooked. Okay, against her. Hua kya? Nahin. Against her. This is loop and selection. So they work together. So you keep on watching, hua kya? Like sometimes when we were young, मेरी बहन थी साथ में, my sister was with me, उसको भूख लगता था, cooking मेरे पे आता था. She would sit on my head and say, हुआ? मुझे अभी डाला है पानी में. हुआ? And every 10 seconds she would repeat this till the time I give her the entire plate. And the concept is again. So we need to realize that any program is made up of three things. The sequence, the selection, that is the branch, and the loop. If you can put everything or anything in your logic in these three things, I can assure you, you are a good programmer and you can make magic to it. Okay. So now this is all what I had to give you before actually starting with it. Now there are a lot of things, input, output, other things. I'm not actually interested right now to talk to all this. Let's go to programming. No, वरना मजा नहीं आता, मुझे बोर हो जाएगा फिर. So let's talk about Python again. Amar ho gaya, this is the first slide. Over. nahi. Now this onwards we'll be starting with a Python. So Amar, what is Python? Well, it's a language. It's a technology. And if you follow this language and technology in a right manner, then it can make your career. That is Python. Today, AI is using Python, machine learning is Python, data science is Python, automation is Python. Python is everywhere. You like it or you don't like it, you will need to learn it. So let's talk about, Amar, if I have to define Python, how would I define Python? Okay, Python, let's try to understand this factor of it. Python is a dynamic, high level, free, open source, and interpreted programming language. What's ho gaya? Amar zyada fast ho gaya. Okay, let's break it up. Dynamic. This time, as you want, you can create new things. If you don't want, they will be removed automatically. Dynamic. High level. English like. It is as good as writing English, but in a more formatted manner. Then, open source. The entire Python source code is available on the internet. It is free. You can actually watch, make changes, and use it. Interpreted. So it executes line by line so that it is easier for us to understand and work with it. Now, it does support object-oriented programming language and as well as procedure. Amar, what are these things? Focus, leave it. We'll do it later. But more important now, let's go. Python is one of the most popular right now. But when was it created? A lot of people argue with me. Mind you, I teach Python, I teach Java, I teach C, C++, and along with that, around 11 different languages I go with. But to go very simple, everybody argues Java pehle aaya. So Java was first, then Python came. No, Java came in 1995. And as you can see from the slide, Python came in 1991. Okay, so Python is older than Java, number one. Lot of features of Python are copied in Java. But Java then took a turn and it went towards application development, became very popular. Python remained there till data science, artificial intelligence, and simplicity was there. And now Python is going boom. So probably from 2017-15, Python is making waves. And now today, if we talk about, if you want to know that where is Python, this is recent figures which we got from the internet. Currently, Python has crossed Java. Finally, Python is on the topmost language for learning and development. This is from US and European papers, which we got all the detail from. Java has become second, and there are other languages. But this is again debatable. We can, nahi sir, India mein nahi hota, nahi, let it be. So let's understand, Python has become big. Now, why it has become bigger, better, or faster? So there are reasons. Now, one of the first reason is what all Python is used in. Now, be very, very careful. It's a very interesting thing to say that Python is being used with AI, data science, web development, search engine optimization, game development, as well as automation. So, bacha kya? That's the reason you have to learn Python in very detail. Whatever you talk about today is done in Python. Then what kind of application I can create in Python? Okay, you can create database application, GUI application, security patches, web development, automation apps, networking apps. So practically anything which you can think about, you can make it in Python in a least number of lines. Amar, ठीक है, ये marketing हो गया Python का. Tell me, Python is popular? Yes, very much. Python is pretty popular. Then the good question is, kashala, as we say in Marathi, या अगर हिंदी में बोलूं, क्यों? Or in English, why? One reason or rather four. What are the reasons? Loose syntax, object-oriented supported, simple and dynamic casting. Amar, kuch bhi nahi samjha. This is where we start coding, one point at a time. So as we talk about, okay, Padil, C++ is a good option. I'm not saying no, but then you should know STL, RTL, integrations and other things. But for that, you will need to work on a separate rounds. So currently going back, so now a good question to ask is, Amar, ek point pe baat karte. If you talk about Loose syntax. What do you mean by loose syntax? You can speak freely in terms of, when it comes to Python. Amar, define freely. हम दोस्तों से, we often talk to our friends casually, right? Easy. We don't have to follow certain rules and regulations. Similarly, Python can actually do that. So let's go and show you. What you are seeing right now on my screen is called Colab. Colab is a system via which we can directly connect Python. You don't have to install anything. You have to just go on Google and say Colab. Okay. Again, I'll give you the link also if you are interested. Give me a second. I'll go through with that. So you can always work with Colab. Colab is Google's own way of supporting Python, mind you. So whenever you talk about, just a minute, I'm giving you that. Colab link. I'm just sending the Colab link in the chat. If you want, you guys can work with. So here goes. Just a minute. Copy link address, and I'm sending in your chat. So if you want, you can parallelly also open that. You just require Google logins, nothing beyond that. Your own Google login, you will be able to work with. So here goes, link has been given. Colab as if now does not support any other language than Python. It is made for Python, to be more precise. Okay, so let's try to understand the first line. It is loose syntax. Amar, define loose syntax. Now the fun starts now. For me, the fun begins from this particular point. So there is a statement called print. We say in a very simple way, hi. And if I run this, this will connect to the Google server. As you can see at the top, there is connecting phase going around. It will connect to Google Cloud and start executing. Once connected, it executed. Congrats, you got the answer. That's it. Okay, so Amar, if we want to write hi, so if I say print, and if I say triple quotes hi, it will still run. This is a concept called loose syntax. If you want to say print and you talk about a single quote hi, Amar, and run, it will still work. So basically loose syntax is you can actually write it in several ways. So you are not constrained to one type. ऐसा नहीं है कि यही करना है. You have multiple ways. First thing. Not only that, if you want to write multiple lines in a single, you say print hi, Amar, how are you? In a question mark. I can still have all three lines coming. Sorry, I meant something. I forgot the end part. This is called syntax. If you don't follow, you will get error. Hi, Amar, how are you? If I want to do Amar multiple times, I can say play with this also. Multiply by 3 and then say comma and you work. Amar, what will happen? Hi, Amar, hi, Amar, hi, Amar, Amar, and it worked for 3 times. So there are a lot of options which you can go. Another point of Python is it is simple compared to other language. Now, when I say simple, how would I quote the factor of simple? No, because we say loose syntax, so theek hai, multiple ways of writing. So when somebody says, Amar, fine, loose syntax I accept, what is the meaning? What is the meaning when you say simple? And how simple are we talking about? Okay. So if we talk about this, we have shared the screen, my dear. You'll just need to scroll because there are multiple users. I'll pin next time onwards. Sorry. So if you talk about simple, let me help you out this way. Okay. So these are two codes printing only hello world. This one is working with Java and the other one is C programming. So ये आप जो बड़ा code देख रहे हो, this is Java entirely. Large number of code. Mind you, for doing one task, hello world. This is C. So it's a C compiler basically, जो hello world print करने के लिए 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So sir, you mean to say Python is better? Okay, let's make it simple. Is it or is it not? So it's very, very simple. So again, I'm going to backend, going to Colab and showing you what it is capable of. I'll pin the screen, don't worry. So that this time you should be able to see screen. Just a minute. Okay, so let me pin the screen. Okay. Just a minute. This I need to close down first. I'll unpin my screen. That is the reason you guys were not able to. Just a minute. I'll unpin and I'll pin this. Now you should be able to see I have pinned the screen. If not, see, look around. You should be able to see my screen, or else I can help you one way also. Just a minute. If people are able to see my black screen for coding, people give me thumbs up.
Moin. We've been able to
Wonderful.
see it.
Wonderful. So now when you talk about this, let us go and understand why I say simple. So the logic goes is very simple in this. You want to do what? I would say I want to print hello world. Python is very simple. Python say what you want to say. I want to print hello world. Sir, ऐसा लिख के हो जाएगा नहीं, but at least you are clear and near to it. So you want to print hello world. Give a bracket and put hello world into single, double or triple quotes. It's up to you. And your coding is done. Instead of 7 lines of Java, 5 lines of C, C++, 1 line of your Python is done. It is simple compared to any other language. Another advantage of Python is dynamic casting. Sir, what is dynamic casting? I repeat the term, dynamic casting. Amar, what is dynamic casting? Ability to support multiple data type. So if I say a is equal to 10, and if I want to know a and its type. Type is a command via which you know the data type of it. So a is of int type. Amar, what is int? Int is a class of data, or rather it's a data type. Integer means no fractional point, but a complete numbers. 1, 2, 3, -10, -100, no fraction point. So decimal point nahi hoga. So int hai. But if I make this change without doing anything, suddenly इसने दुनिया बदल दी, जज्बात बदल दिए, सब कुछ बदल दिया. How? Simple, with one dot, it suddenly got converted to float. Not only that, if I write this thing in a single quote, it suddenly becomes string, str. That means a character sequence. So this is the ability of Python, which allows you to use any type of data. In fact, इसमें intercast भी allowed है. I mean, ज़्यादा मत सोचो, don't try to overthink it. I mean to say is A10. B is equal to 3.4, C is equal to A plus B. So if I say print C and type of C. So since it's int and float, it will convert and start its own data type with C, talking about in a very simple manner, float again. So the casting takes place on its own. That is the reason. So when you talk about programming, Amar, fine, we understood it is easy. We understood that it is simple. We understood it is loose syntax. We understood. But what is the true power of Python, or what Python can do for us? See, Python is very easy. We create a small chatbot. Chalo, abhi baat karte. Let's try to do this. So I want very simple thing. Ask who are you? Ask where are you from? Then greet them accordingly. Now I repeat what I said. Ask who are you? Ask where are you from, and greet them accordingly. So Amar, what's the idea? I want to take data from the user. And mind you, hash in Python is used for comment. What do you mean of comment? Comment, something which will not execute, something which will not execute, do not worry. So how would it work, Amar? What it would operate? It works in a very simple manner. So now our process, let's understand the design process. Amar, we will greet them saying that, so hi, whatever the name of the person is, you are from whatever native I'm saying, nice to know that. Okay, Amar, this is the output message, right? Yes. For that, I will greet, but for that I have to read na, Amar. Read name and native. So this is called algorithm. You plan how to work with your code. And now the actual code starts. Now how the code starts, that's more interesting. We'll work with this. Input is a command in Python to read data. So I will be first asking, as we have said, who are you? By to कौन है? Ab I will answer back, but I need a variable to store this. Program doesn't have a memory. Program needs variable. So I will use a variable called name, and I will store whatever answer I'm giving of input Nem is equal to input. Who are you? Works in a very simple manner. Phase 2. What will happen next? Is very simple. I will say hi to you. How would I say that? Well, simple. Print. Now this is what I'm using is called formatted output. It gives you more control. I'll say hi, comma, and then with a space, I'll say whatever name user has given me. Okay. And I'll ask one more question. Where are you from? Okay, so I ask this question. Again, I'll have to take native, which is the input. So I'll again say input. And this time, since I already mentioned, I will not say anything. Sir, what you have written in between this? Okay. Whatever data I want to show or whatever data I want to carry or I want to show it on screen, that is something which I'll be carrying that. Okay. So now we work in a very simple manner. What we did, let's try to understand. Input was normal. Now this F stands for a very simple thing, formatted output. That means the name will be replaced by whatever data you're going to give me. So again, input takes place and now I'll again say print, be careful, F, again the formatting part. So now we have this detail, right? We have already said we will be saying this. I'm taking it and pasting it over here, but with our change. So name, I don't know whatever user is going to give me. You are from native, I don't know, but whatever user is going to give me. So you are from, and we are good to go. So Amar, what would happen now? Now we'll tell it very simple. See the fun. It started with the question, who are you? In my case, Amar. Hi Amar, where are you from? I will say Mumbai. So hi Amar, you're from Mumbai. Nice to know that. This is a very brief script of a chatbot which we would be creating. So every time when you are late or your food is late on Swiggy, you go and click. It shows you, remember it shows you message, hi Amar, we are sorry to inform you that your order from so-and-so is getting delayed by so-and-so minute. We often thought about आइला कितना याद रखा है कुछ याद नहीं रखा. It's a very smart move. It does not remember anything, but it follows the script. Everybody understood the concept of script? Okay. So, okay, why am I writing F after or no print? That is the formatted. If I don't do that, okay, so I'll show you that also again. One more minute. Okay. So it's fun part, guys. Coding is fun. It has multiple ways of doing. Okay. Okay. Here goes. So when you talk about this, if I don't write this way, F, then I would have to write it in parts and pieces. So in that case, I'll go and say hi. So that's one line. Then I'll say name of a person. Then another line which says, so you are from, again, I'll say comma, then I'll say native. So old programming of Python, there are a lot of people who are still teaching Python this way. But this is more industrial way of working. So this is industry and this is old. Sir, दोनों करेगा भाई? हाँ, I can guarantee you that if you want to. चलो, बात कर लेते हैं. Hi. So let's say this time we'll take a Varun sir. So Varun sir from India. So work one simple way. Hi Varun, you are from India. Nice to know that. नीचे भी वही है. But if you are seeing, the spaces are increased because of the commas. So if you want better control, we write it this way. If you just want to print normal data, you can do this. I generally prefer people practicing this on a higher scale because that tends to give you better results. Okay. So now imagine how easy it was. Now, since we are talking about this, Amar, this could do wonders. Now imagine this is what programming is all about. Now programming can actually make wonders. Let's try to understand whether you should watch no Dhurandhar or not. So let's make it simple. I can actually make that script in a very quick manner. How? Okay. Now if you go followed by this very carefully, okay, very carefully to play on. So Amar, fine, I'm pinning the screen. You should be able to view that. Now Amar, what are we planning? Whether you should watch Dhurandhar or not. Although I watched it, it's a wonderful movie. I loved it. But again, so first thing I'll be saying, watch Dhurandhar if you're 18 plus, else not. Now that's one concept which I had. So 18 plus Dhurandhar we will watch, otherwise we won't. So concept wise, watch if 18 plus, else not. So now my logic is very clear. So I'll now say, I'll start with a concept. age. I'll ask you the age, I'll ask input, and the message I want to show. What is your age? So I'm asking a simple question, what is your age? But age is going to be integer in number, so I'll have to write this way, int. And then you go back and ask the golden question. If age is greater than equal to 18, you come down and you'll say print. I can again use F format for me. I can say at whatever age you have given, you can watch it. Super. Else, what if you are below 18? Okay, at today, I'll just cut it short. Watch Pogo. I mean, whatever you want to watch, I'll write Pogo as such. Cartoon Network अच्छा था, but बंद हो गया यार. ठीक है. Anyway, so now at age. So if I say 35, enter. At 35, you can watch it. So Durandar you can watch. If you want, you can put Durandar also. At age 5, watch Pogo. Oh, Pogo हो गया. Sorry, my bad. नया channel आ गया. Pogo. Let's make it simple. So again, if I run, the updates comes into picture. I'm 101. At 101, you can watch it. But I again run this and I say I'm just 3. Watch Pogo. This is how programming is fun, guys. Imagine how easy programming is. The problem, now I'll address one important stuff about programming. See, programming is always fun. यहाँ तक सब clear हो? Everybody clear? Wonderful. Thank you, Rudraksh. Loving the fact, loving it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, people. See, the fun part now, it's been 17 years for me. Right now, it's the 18th year which I'm teaching or training people. I always understood one thing. Programming is fun, but it matters is what you are learning, how you are learning. The most common mistake people does is rattafy without even understanding how. Oh, no. Then what happens is when you do this, you become chatur of 3 idiots. याद है जिसने चमत्कार किया था speech में. I said चमत्कार, okay. So the logic remains is you don't have to do that. You need to just follow the flow. Now, what flow you need to follow or how things are going to be, what all things you need to actually do. Now, I'll just show you the basic concepts of how a programming should work or what all needed is. I'll just skip the presentation part. I'll say, in order to work or code better, I always say this thing for each of you who are new coders, who are learning new coding, identify the problem. First, try to understand what is the problem all about. Once you're clear in identifying the problem, think about, have you understood the problem? Especially when I say this, output, are you clear what is needed? Input, are you clear what is needed? And do you know how the process of getting that output from the input is going to be? Once that is done, you can have multiple ways of doing, right? Which is the best way to do? And once you are done, just write series of instruction and done. You have the coding. This is one part na student don't do. What student does it? Rattafy, rattafy, rattafy. Now you might have done C, Java, a lot of things, but you haven't used it. And the way we understand, if you do not use it, nothing is going to work. So for that, we generally suggest a roadmap which goes something similar to this. This is all in a group. Sir will be sharing all this. So things would come across to you. This entire roadmap will get by night so that you can follow this as we have promised. What to read in Python, you will be able to get that. Not only that, we'll also give you a basic booklet of Python so that you can start your journey in Python. Okay, don't worry. So we generally suggest when we start with, you start with the basics. So this is my way of working. So I'll go back to the design desk. That's much faster for me. So if you are planning seriously to work about coding and to start the career wise or interest wise or to make your own app, there are a few things which I want you guys to literally start doing with. So the first thing which you talk about is you should be knowing any language. You should be knowing something which we call as input output. Why? Obvious है, बिना इसके program चलेगा ही नहीं. Everything is about input output. So you know about input output and what you do with input output. Operates. So operators, you operate on them. So there are series of operators which you should be knowing. So input output and operators, we work together. That is what we are working with. The third thing which we talk about, so input output we work with the operators. Then the next thing we should understand is a condition. So we call conditional operators. Once that is done, we should be doing is loop. Now believe me, if you are even done with this, you could actually start breaking the logic into sequence of steps which can do magic. And then you should be doing is a bigger things. What are bigger things? Now Python has its own data structures like list, set, tuple, and something which we call as dictionary, which are tremendously powerful. I mean, imagine if I can give you a list of names and remove unique names from it, or I give you a set of tasks and give you set of names and you can randomly assign each other. This is what this data structures are about. Then string manipulation. नाम पढ़ लो, नाम को capital कर लो, इतना नहीं. Take a name and start. What if I tell you your name can carry your property? So every alphabet in your name has a property, and whatever your name is, you will get certain property out of it. Yes, this is, I am not saying internet says this. So that can also be done. This is the kind of problems we will be solving. Then once this is done, everything is done through a concept called function. What is function? So when you say function is a set of commands which you have written somewhere else, and when needed you call. Now these are the bare minimum things which I want people to literally go through. Why this is important, Amar? For one simple reason. This is important for one thing. If you follow this flow, I can assure you can go with. Now how can we help, or what can be done in this? So for this exact reason, what we have done is, along with the webinar, we have designed 7 days course with projects. So each day we learn one factor and we then come out with a proper concepts to it. So how we have worked with this, or what we have planned. So when you know input output on day one, we create a chatbot. That is how you should be following this. And operators, conditional operators, and what? You work with the apps like to-do list. When you are done with list, set, and tuples, which would be done in two separate lectures to understand, you start building appointment ads. So now there are special ads, or rather special apps that can take appointments, schedule appointments, and work with. When you know dictionary and other things, you can start making very interesting stuff. What if numerological predictor? I can take your birth date and I can actually predict and tell you what kind of person you are. That kind of apps you can make. Or the string, where I tend to teach something which you guys would love to, is one simple concept. We would learn a concept called string manipulation, secret message writer. That means a message you write, it gets encrypted, send it to your friend on WhatsApp. He will copy and use your software to read what you have written. A secret. और हम लोग को सबको चाहिए रहता है, especially at your age. Functions. What if I teach you to create an entire game of guess the price? So you create a game, you randomly select a product, you have to predict the cost of it. Now there are constraints. Only 5 choices, then you can win that. So these are the kind of things. तो अमर ये सब थोड़ी actual में हो सकता है. Why not? So for the exact reason, I'll just show you what we tend to work with. This concept is called learning by projects. So we don't just teach. अभी भी अगर बात समझा होगा तुम लोग को, तो मैंने normal webinar की तरह, I could have been very boring taking that PPTs and work with it. But at Yuno, we don't work that way. At Career Credentials, we don't work that way. We work in our own style. So concept बहुत simple होता है. I believe तुम लोग कुछ भी सीखोगे और अगर operate नहीं करोगे, if you learn and you don't use it, you will forget it. So never ever do that. So hence we worked in a quite different manner when it comes to our style of teaching, especially our way of working with it. So what we exactly talk about, Amar, yeah, exactly what are we going through? So, well, simple. We have designed this thing, just a minute, I'm just starting with it. So what we have done is, in order to a lot of people who really want to work with proper Python, not only to learn but to develop, we created an entire course for this, where we call it, basically, I'll just share the screen, just give me a second. Okay, you should be able to see my screen by now. Varun sir, screen dikh raha hai?
Yeah.
Wonderful. So we designed this entire course specially with youth in mind, or a fresher or a student who wants to literally do. So basically we work one simple, we call it Python Logic Builder Bootcamp. Work in a very simple manner, forget about me. Let's go on to what we do. So here we always work with live lectures. You'll be developing different apps at each day. We will be taking it alternate manner. So one day I teach, I build. Second day you take assignment, see the recording, and start building your own app. So on day one, for example, when you work with, you talk about weight on different planet, height unit conversion, and Tera tu mera mein TM. I remember Varun sir asking me this, Amar, what kind of application is this? Well, sir, student would understand. The bill is of 1800, bhai tu tera de, main mera dega. So TTMM app, how to split this money and all. So these are the kind of apps you will be learning by understanding Python environment input output variable. So Amar, what is second day? Second day is more interesting. We talk about conditional loops, and in that day we talk about all right, wrong, taking a decision and all. Logical building of projects, numerological, build system, number system is day 3 where we actually combine our forces. Then when you understand string from a real life, we start building poem generator. This is something favorite of my students. They love. Imagine you say somebody's name, somebody's no important features or something which you remember, where you met, what color she or he was wearing, and my program generates the poem. You would quote this with me, believe me. So it's a fun to literally go. And the secret writer should not forget. Then day 5, we talk about data structure, list and tuples, which are more important to understand bigger projects and more complicated stuff. Once you work with that, we'll be creating, imagine, to-do task list, auto assignment allocator, pairing generator, and even who will go down to take the food. ये hostel में होता है बहुत बार. Who is going to go down? I am not going to. Last time मैं गया था. What if I give you an app which will randomly select one at a time manner who is supposed to do? That kind of apps you will be doing, and that would be fun. Then we talk about the day 6 where data structure second part comes into picture, where we talk about more complicated stuff. So we talk about sets, we talk about set theory, and we build projects like playlist manager, where we can combine multiple playlists from YouTube, Spotify. We can talk about paragraph analyzer and tell you what paragraph is all about, how many words, how many things. Imagine the kind of projects you are building, and each project will build your profile, understanding, and Python working in a different scale. Then you talk about function and the capstone project. You understand how to write functions, but that's not enough for me. What if I actually give you inventory management system? तुम्हारे पास कितना पैसा है, how much money you have, where you are spending, what all. What if I can actually create a list of this and make it with products and other things? You can actually have fun. Plus, there will be one special edition to work with. Guess the price, Indian edition. कितने का होगा? याद है? Any gift we people say, ये देखिए नया लिया. Guess कर कितने का होगा? That exactly will be rebuilding this. So this is all what we'll be working on in 7 days. So once you are done, what we work with or how we operate, there'll be a 1 day gap with the thing. Program and other detail, Varun sir will be obviously telling you. I have pings coming in, sir, kya hai, kitna hai. So theek hai. That is job. He will do it the best way. So what you will get? You'll get all sessions recorded and kept for next 6 months so that you guys can access, understand. On submission of your 12 projects, you get project completion certificates. So there are 12 project complete certifications which you'll get on submission. Online test pass karoge, there is an assessment which will be happening. If you pass, you will receive a certification. So end of the thing, what all we are going to have, you'll add up a certificate to your profile. You'll understand logic building. You'll have projects to come into picture, and you will have everything what we made you learn, and all soft copies of this. That's exactly what we are. So what are we targeting or batch, how we have formed? We are targeted more of student or freshers or people who want to switch. They are already doing something else, but they want to jump into programming. They want to work. This is a kind of that mindset we are working. It's a complete beginner concept. So I'm not considering you have idea about programming. You'll go right from scratch and we work with. And logically, we are trying to build logic, not just ratify something or just vomit it out. So that is something which we work with. That is how we work. So, baki ka details, sir hai. But before that, how many of you literally enjoyed today's session? I am more interested in that. How many actually understood every part and loved the concept? Give me thumbs up. Give me yes. Come on, come on, come on. Tell me how many of you literally enjoyed the term. Wonderful, wonderful, lovely. Love to see. So we'll be having also a series of this kind of webinars to talk about, because end of the day, we do a lot of stuff at Yuno. We keep on educating the next generation. We keep on taking extra sessions for. So this all would be part of it. This will all be coming across, and you will enjoy all that. So keep on attending this kind of sessions. We'll always work with it. So, lovely. Thanks. Hopefully people liked it. Okay. So rest is again Varun sir. I'll catch you
Right.
up in the batch. Varun sir, take over. Thank
Right.
you. Thank
Thank
you
you so
everyone
much.
for joining.
Thank you so much, Amar, and thank you for breaking all these complex, concepts. I think हम सबको लग रहा है अभी हम एक नया WhatsApp एक सीक्रेट मैसेजिंग सर्विस या फिर कैलेंडली जैसे टूल्स बना सकते हैं. And I think I hope all of you are also excited to what is to come, right? So like Amar was suggesting, we have this amazing program that we've put together, and I think Amar showed all the details of what different modules are. In a sense, this will be a 8 session program, 3 hours each, right? So there is a lot of rigor that goes into learning the concept and also practicing, applying it every day, right? And you can always come back to us with any questions that you have, anything where you are getting stuck, and we'll be there to help you out, right? It's a 2 week intensive course. So in 2 weeks, you can see significant progress in terms of your ability. Like Amar was suggesting, all these projects, once you go through, right, you'll also get certificates, right? And your experience on implementing things increases day by day, right? It's a very interactive, hands-on program, and the batch is starting in the next 9 days on 9th of February, right? So the classes will be from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. This has been kept so that all of you can accommodate with your ongoing classes or work schedules, right? And like Amar pointed out, there are no prerequisites. You can come in, understand, start thinking like a programmer, not just do rote learning, right? And I've seen people going through this course and really carving a way for them in their current jobs, in their during their college lives, and picking up projects as well as they progressed through the course, right? Now, what does it all come down to? So the course, when we originally devised, we were saying this is for 5,000 inclusive of GST. But for all you lovely folks who made it on a Saturday evening, I requested Amar to give you something special. So we have agreed to offer a 20% discount, and for only people who are attending this webinar for the next 2 days, there's this 20% discount that is running, right? So I hope you are excited. Can I see some thumbs up for people who are interested in taking up this course? Folks in the comment box, or thumb impression. Great, great. So what I'll do is now I'll put the link of our payment page. You can go ahead and enter your details, your simple name and email, and then with your preferred payment method, you can go ahead, right? So yeah, I think this is about it. Um, any questions that you have, folks? I'll go to the chat box as well. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat box. Yes, there is a certificate, and we will share it with folks. Any other questions? Great, great. So I think, Kamal, a lot of people have all great reviews. I think they have enjoyed the session to the best. What I'll also request everyone to do is I'm going to share a short feedback form. So there it goes in the chat box, right? Take a minute now, folks. This is really important. Please submit your feedback. Uh, what did you like about this session? What, where do you think we could improve? Any next steps on what would you further like to hear from Amar or our team, right? Any other comments that you have, please share them in the feedback form. You could also suggest in the feedback form if there's a time that you prefer us to connect for more details, or if you'd like to talk to someone from our team to discuss about this course, please use this form, right? Any questions, folks? Feel free to unmute or put it in the chat box. This is your chance to ask anything about the course or the topic with Aman.
Yeah, I'm also there listening to it. So go ahead. Any doubt, anything, feel free to ask. go with few question. I think somebody had asked, I think Gino had asked, wonderful session when you will be having Panda NumPy coming into picture. Okay, Gino,
Mhm.
as I said, this is level 1 certification. So we do have in future, we are coming up with level 2 and level 3, where level 2 would have Panda NumPy and level 3 is agentic agents and complete AI, which we are talking about. So yes, that is every month we'll be going to the next level certificate and goes parallelly. So yes, there are things coming in. Anything
Great.
else? So lovely to see Darshan saying that the fear is erased. Love to hear this kind of comments here, Varun. It's wonderful.
Right, absolutely. So,
Okay,
folks, for
good.
you, I'm those who were interested and showed all the thumbs up. I'm going to put the payment link again in the chat box. If you missed it, feel free to use the link and make the payment. Give me a thumbs up if you've submitted the feedback on the form. This is really important, guys. It allows us to stay motivated, collect all the feedback, and keep coming back with good stuff. Great, great. Cool. I think Amar, this was a privilege. We had a great time
Yeah,
demystifying, all these concepts. I think it was a very unique take at how to think about programming. How do you prioritize, thinking first and breaking down all these different concepts. I think I'm
perfect.
feeling confident I can build all these apps. Calendly, I think would be one that we'll definitely look at. Harman, who's
Definitely,
also watching, was we were thinking, we definitely want to have all these apps built, and I'm sure
perfect.
the audience has benefited a lot. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a great evening.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone. Thank you very much.
See
Sure.
you. See you. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.